Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about the reality of studying in the US. These points apply to most places people move to for higher studies, but I'll focus on the US in this video. Firstly, it certainly has its perks like great education, the neighborhoods, well, it depends on where you live, but for the most part, it's nice. People here are incredibly friendly. If you're living in cities like New York, LA, San Francisco, Chicago, there's just so many things to do. The lifestyle of a citizen here is better in almost all quantifiable ways. But as an immigrant, especially a student, you don't have those perks. The coursework here is incredibly draining. A big part of your day just goes in either lectures, assignments, or studying. After that, if you have an on campus job, that takes up some time as well. If you care about your health and if you work out, that's some time gone there too. And then cooking healthy meals, which is so important in keeping your mind active, that takes up a lot of time. On top of all this, you have to prepare for interviews. And even if you do everything perfectly fine, there's still a huge risk of not landing a job and being stuck with a huge loan, which is practically impossible to pay back if you decide to go back. Sure, those people who come from well off families, whose parents are funding the whole thing, or those people who haven't taken science and engineering majors, they're having a pretty good time. But for the remaining ones, it's not so good. You might think, okay, people who take up science and engineering, they'll have a good future, right? But again, it's not so straightforward. You might have perfect grades, you might have a lot of projects, you might have good research experience, you might have good work experience, but if you don't check the boxes that companies are looking for, you're not getting that call back. So, with so much tension, the honeymoon phase of studying in the US or studying in Europe quickly fades away, and every day starts getting more monotonic and stressful. You might see people on YouTube preaching overly optimistic advice on how they came to the US and turned their lives around, or people on Instagram partying every weekend. But you don't know their circumstances. Some might have come here when the economy was good, some might have had rich parents to fall back on, some might have had contacts to help them here. But for a lot of people, they're on their own, and their lives are not even remotely close to the people you see on Instagram or YouTube. So my point is that your life is not going to be the way it is on Friends. You will be stuck doing college-related stuff most of the time, and even after all the studying, you might still fail a class. Even after tons of interview prep, you might still not land a job. And even if you land a job, you might not get a visa. So you need to consider everything before making a decision. Personally, experiencing everything over the past month, I still would not have changed my decision, but I know a lot of people who think otherwise. I want to come to the US, especially New York, since the age of 14. I love taking risks, and the uncertainty of the result excites me. Just the idea of moving to a new country and starting with nothing. Well, I'm technically starting with a 100K loan, but yeah, the whole idea of moving to the US and chasing the American dream always excited me, but it might not be the same for everyone. So don't follow some random advice on YouTube blindly. Understand what you want, weigh the pros, weigh the cons before jumping into a decision like this, because unless your parents can throw around 1 crore, there's no going back. That's all I wanted to say now. I'll see you in the next one.